All right. Good afternoon, everyone. It's about 4:30 or a little bit after 4:30 on Friday, April 9th, and wanted to give everyone an update on our severe weather potential, and things are just now starting to get going. So let's go ahead and look at that latest radar here. And what you see, hopefully you can see on my monitor there, is the position of the dry line, and I'm going to draw it right here. Oh my goodness, that's not going to work. Let's try this. There we go. So you can kind of make out this line right here. That's the position of the dry line. And it is moving to the east at a pretty good little clip, although nothing outrageously fast. So if we take this off and put this in motion, you'll see that, again, the dry line is fairly steady. And that's expected to make progress as we go into the evening hours. And that's what's going to be our first round of severe weather. We're really going to talk about two rounds here, and I'll talk about that here in just a second. So I want to start out with the dry line, and it is creeping into our area. And if I stop this, you'll see a little storm formation just in the Waco area. Not much has gone on there yet, but that's something we're going to have to watch. And of course, along this whole line, we're expecting development. Now, again, as I've talked about this morning, we're not going to most likely in this scenario see a solid line form. It's going to be isolated storms, and of course, that's bad news because when you have isolated storms form, then it's not always that great. So we shall see. All right, so let's go to the satellite picture here and put that in motion there. And let me change screens over here. Okay, now I'm going to refresh this real quick. So I did want to point out a few things. And let me do this here. And okay, there we go. All right. Okay, so hello, Tracy. How are you? So what you're starting to see here is, especially down south, that's where you see that radar return. You do see thunderstorm development starting, and I think it's only a matter of time before you see more of that. But again, that's something that is not a given. The cap is weakened. They did a sounding at noon, and then they did another sounding about 4 o'clock, so hot off the presses. And so the cap is definitely weaker, but still there. So that's important because a lot of times you get the misconception, I would say, that, especially when you're comparing a strong cap to a weak cap, it's like, oh, we had a strong cap, and then now, oh my gosh, hold on. I didn't fade over the satellite picture. My apologies. Okay, so let's try this again. Okay, again, you can see the position of the dry line with the cloud cover as far as to the west. You're starting to see this little thin line of clouds going, and then down in the Waco area, west of Waco, you can see those storms starting to pop south of us. And I think that you will start to see possibly more storms punch through the cap. I don't think it's going to be a jailbreak in the sense it's going to punch through the cap, but I think you're going to see, well, we're already starting to see that down south. So what does that mean as far as our weather going forward? So let's do the graphics here. Let's fade over here. So this is hot off the press. This is a severe thunderstorm watch that has been issued for Dallas-Fort Worth and surrounding areas, mainly east, Dallas-Fort Worth east, until 11 o'clock. As I mentioned before, the tornado threat is not that high, not impossible, but not that high. The hail threat is very high in the sense that if you are underneath one of these storms, you would see hail. If you look at this graphic at the tennis ball size. Now, is that possible in some of the storms? Sure. But let's hope we don't see that. And let's hope if we do see it, it doesn't really affect anybody like it could. So that is what we're thinking. So I just wanted to come on to say that we are in the very beginnings of this episode. Now, again, let's go back to the radar here. I don't want everybody to get too concerned about things. So at this moment, the radar is pretty quiet. Like I said, we have that storm that's trying to form down here again, down in this area. This is closer to Waco. And then we've had plenty of other storms. We've had plenty of other storms in East Texas today. And of course, that's a severe storm there. So don't have to worry about those. Those aren't coming our way. And so let's pull out here a little bit more. Okay, so I did want to go up into Oklahoma for a second and talk about part 2. So that line roughly is actually where the front is. And let's see. Let me get back here. I apologize. Oh my. Okay. Let's see. All right. I apologize. I'm just checking the settings. Okay. So again, that blue line is where the cold front is. So like I said, there's going to be, for some people, there's going to be a 1-2 punch in this scenario. So the first punch, like I said, is a dry line, and those are where the supercell thunderstorms are going to form, if they form in our area. Let's hope they don't, but they do. That's where the dry line thunderstorms are going to form. So this area right here is a hail threat. Now, this is going to, if they do form, they're going to move east, and they're probably going to be out of here, after 7 o'clock. Now, the second potential problem is this cold front. So when this cold front gets to our area, we're still going to have unstable atmosphere. And this is going to be that classic line of storms that forms. And so we may be talking about, boy, if I can get that to quit doing that. So you may be talking about a line of storms that would come down this way. Now, the biggest threat with this line, I just always wanted to do this. That is horrible wind, but that says wind. So that's the biggest threat with these storms. I'm going to get rid of that. That's pretty ugly looking. So wind gusts over 60 miles an hour. Now, the line hasn't formed like that yet, so it's not a squall line in that regard, but the possibility is there. So that's something we're going to have to watch in the evening hours between 7 and midnight. So the bottom line is this, is that I'm going to go back out here a little bit more here. Okay. That's probably a little too much. Let's do this. Okay, so the good news is so far that this particular storm down in the Waco area is having trouble. So that's good. That's a good sign. That means the cap is holding steady pretty good. So cross your fingers. So we got dry line storms to worry about between now and 7 p.m. give or take. And then we have cold front storms to worry about between 7 p.m. and midnight. That's probably a generalized time frame. So with that, let me check your comments here. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Trina just wants to bring the rain. Amen. Hi, Angela. And Leslie Williams, I hope you got your sound working, because I don't think I had that issue. Oh, okay. You got it fixed. Okay. All right. So I don't see anything too pressing here. Okay. All right. So with that, I'm going to sign off for now. I'm going to upload this video to the other Facebook pages that follow me, or that I follow, I should say. So again, I would leave you with this, nothing to be overly concerned about, but look for storms if they form between now and 7 o'clock. Those will be the hailers, as we like to say. And then later on, watch for storms along the cold front, and those will be wind producers. So like I said, we could have a 1-2 punch. That's all I have for now. Like I said, I'm going to put this graphic up one more time. Severe thunderstorm watch until 11 p.m. for our area. So be on the lookout. If you have plans between now and 6 o'clock, you're probably going to be okay. But after that, it's a little more dicey. And the tricky situation about this is that these storms can pop really fast. So you won't have much time if a storm's near you. So with that, I'm watching the weather, so you don't have to. I'll be back on when needed. I hope everyone has a great Friday, and we will talk to you soon.